Congrats on everything, first of all, Krista. Again, I'm Jeff. I'm doing this for Awards Watch. You already know this, but shrinking is so many of our comfort blankets in this world right now. So we appreciate you all, first of all.
I appreciate you having me on and thank you.
Of course. And, I've spoken with your husband, Bill, several times. I love him. I've spoken with Jessica, Ted, so I just love your cast. But my first question for you, Krista, is, what has been the greatest joy and satisfaction in getting to embodying the evolving journey that Liz gets to have into these 3 seasons so far?
I think what's been incredible is that, Liz was kind of a puzzle to figure out in the first season. She's so unlike me. And also, I wanted to really make her not, she could have gone unlikable. Like, I didn't want her to be that. And I think as the seasons evolved, it's like all the, obviously as actors, you use parts of yourself. I think the latent aspects of Liz's personality have come to the surface, and the joy of being on a show that keeps going, they keep coming out. That she doesn't have to have this tough exterior and pretend that she's confident when she's really not. They're starting to come up to the surface and she's starting to trust them.
Yes.
And so, I've learned as much from Liz, you know, as she has learned on the show.
I love that. But I'm curious too. In season 3, we get to see so much between her helping Brian with his baby, whether he likes it or not sometimes.
Yes.
Figuring out the parent dynamic of grown boys, as well as Derek's unexpected health concerns. So,
Yeah.
as you, Krista, were entering the third season in pre-production, was there anything about the trajectory of Liz for this third season that you were, as much as the things you wanted her to become in this third season and do, was there anything you were adamant to make sure that she did not become or take this route?
No, and I really trust the writing staff and what they have in store. And it's actually quite fun as an actor to, get the scripts and you don't know what you're going to do. It's a puzzle. I lock myself in my office and I work on them all weekend.
Yeah.
Harrison mentioned that too, because he's never been on a television show, especially like a long running television show that you don't know, you have to trust.
Mhm.
And, so no, I actually don't ever say like I won't do that. I won't do that. I don't like to limit myself in life in that way either. So
I like that. But not only, Krista, are you an actor on Shrinking, but you're the music supervisor. Can you talk to me not only what is your day to day when it came to that production on the show, and how did that role come about for you?
it came about because when I was living in New York, I used to do the door at nightclubs, but I also used to go seven for the DJ when they had to go to the bathroom and stuff. And I used to DJ, and I was a mixtape girl,
Nice.
always making mixtapes for people and for parties and things like that. So all the mixtape girls out there, you never know what will be.
Did you have a sub DJ name, like a substitute DJ name?
I did not. I never got that far.
Okay.
But when Bill was always, and I can just feel like I used to walk around New York too, always listening to music and like imagining myself in a movie, like writing movies in my head, what the soundtrack would be. But when Bill did Scrubs, he wasn't happy with the pilot with the music, and I said, "Let me have a run at it." And he said no. And then I was like, "Come on, come on," and he said no. And I was like, "I can do this. I already know because I'd been lived with it for so long with the pilot." Even though I wasn't in it, I was like, "I know what should be in there," and I just put it all in. And he was like, "Oh, okay. So you're the music supervisor now." So I was the uncredited music supervisor on Scrubs. And
Wow.
how it plays into shrinking, which is kind of unusual and magical, is that like we wrapped in July, and
Mhm.
then right away, like starting October, I start banking new music. So I'm in Liz all of the year. I'm after we wrapped, I had to edit.
Mhm.
So I'm editing the music, and then I'm right now I'm like living in Liz and all the other characters with
So
what music.
Shrinking never leaves you.
Now I'm in Liz. When I'm doing the music, I'm thinking about her a lot.
I love that. I love that. But I'm curious, when it comes to Krista, the music supervising that you're doing here, in what ways maybe does it excite and intrigue you as a professional in ways that your acting does not do alone?
To put in a song that really works. I mean, I have like super favorite songs that I'd say to the editors, and it's definitely a team effort. They only pull music from my bank, but I have super favorites, and you go, I know it's going to be great at the scene that you put it in, and you don't get goosebumps.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, so to put a prime example is that I had wanted to use a song from Brandy Carlisle that my daughter's fiance, Andrew Watt, had produced 2.5 years ago. I heard a
Hmm.
rough cut of it. I'm like, I have to put it in the show. That has to be shrinking. That's a shrinking song, a shrinking song. They're like, it's not even out yet. It's not ready. It's not out. And then last season, the timing of when it was going to be out, it wasn't going to be out. And it was just kismet. The way this show works, always these magical things happen. Exactly worked for the
Yeah.
finale, shrinking. And they call and Brandy texted me and said 4 other shows want it or and a movie. Do you want? I know you loved the song, which is so sweet. Do you want it? And I said, I want the song. And I don't think I've ever done this. I just bought it, and when I already had it, they were able to shoot for it. They
Cool.
brought in a crane. They brought in. We used it twice. We used it for the scene and for the end credits. And those moments that are goosebumps that I think about now and make me smile and make me and give and also giving new artists
Hmm.
this platform. New artists have said to me, and it happened on Scrubs countless times, like we were able to buy this amp, for the money that we had it, and then also we played it in concert and people knew it, and you know,
So
music's
cool.
given me so much in my life, and to be able to give back and help.
I
I
love
love.
that. I love that. I also love that you brought in like the Christina Perry with the piano. That was all really great. Congrats on that as well.
And again, just so you know, the weirdest thing is I know Christina Perry. I hadn't spoken to her for a few years. She used to date a friend of mine. She called me 3 days before to say hi. How are you? I'm in LA. Blah blah blah. She had been in London before. Jason said, "Do you mind if I do sing 1,000 Years for Christina?" I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I called Christina. I'm like, "Are you in LA? Do you want to come by the set?" So she came, and
So
like
cool.
everyone freaked out, and she sang with us. And then we went and recorded the song. Our
I
cast at the
saw.
end credits were all singing. It
So
was
cool.
like that's a goosebump moment, and those things happen on our show all the time.
I love that. But I'm curious, a playful question for you, Krista. If
Yeah.
you found yourself the neighbor of Liz, do you actually feel like you would be friends with her after knowing who she is, or do you feel she's not your vibe?
Um, I don't know if she would be my vibe, but she is funny.
Hmm.
So I do like funny people, and I think she's kind. You know what I mean? It'd be one of those people that you'd have to say, like, okay, I haven't walked in her shoes,
Hmm.
and she seems a little like childhood trauma stuff going on. I haven't walked in her shoes, but she seems to be a good mom. Maybe. Like, you know what I'd want? I'd want to be on her good side.
For sure. You'd want to rock.
Yeah, I would not want to cross her a beat. I would want to be on her good side. And maybe if you want to be on someone's good side, then you get to know them. Maybe then I would end up loving her because now I love Liz.
I love that. I love Liz too, so it's so good.
Thank you.
But I'm curious too, we many of us know that you are married to Bill Lawrence, who's the co-creator of Shrinking. You've worked on Scrubs, Cougar Town, all these things we've loved throughout the
Yeah.
years. But how would you say that your dynamic with him being your longtime partner helped you productively as a creative to work together, knowing how you guys understand each other personally and bringing it in professionally?
Professionally, one of the reasons that I also kind of stayed with Bill is we had 3 small children. I had 3 kids, and like and Bill worked so hard. I wasn't going to North Carolina to do South Carolina to do a movie. I mean, it just didn't work. And with him, our schedules, we were able to keep our schedules. One of us could be a baseball game, one of us could get to the preschool thing, one of us could do all the things, and it really worked out. And writing and pregnancies and doing all of that.
Yeah.
Um, and then now with Shrinking, when he started writing it, was with Brett Goldstein, which was much darker. And Brett had written in a character for me, Brett, and before they decided to do it together. And then so when I said to Bill, I said I wanted, I knew it was time to kind of maybe or I do want to work on other projects that are not with my husband. The quality is there. The set situation, because my husband has a true no asshole policy. But thirdly, he was like, Liz is going to be different from any other character and has a strong Brett Goldstein influence. And I'm not, and I went in, I'm like, I'm not doing any of it, has to be totally different. And they did that for me. And so that's why I really responded to that material. So
Love that.
professionally, we're great. We only fight about the music sometimes because Bill is not as cool as I
Yeah.
am.
But material matters, of course, but it's also about the performance. You give a great performance as Liz too, Krista.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
work really hard. I mean,
Yes.
I really, really, it's a puzzle every week when I get that script of like trying to figure it out. And then to be able to work with it's such a great cast to be able to throw it all away, and come to set, and just go, I'm just going to listen. I'm going to, what's happening at the time, has been, I'm so grateful.
Absolutely. But can you also speak, you bring up the cast. Can you speak to this cast not only as peers and scene partners, but as just humans, but specifically, if you can, Harrison Ford, which you have so many great scenes with. Obviously, he's been so great throughout this whole thing, but there's something in season three about playing the worsening Parkinson's disease and how much he committed to make sure it was respectful to people that actually have this disease. Can you speak to that, what you saw on his work ethic on set?
It's incredible. I mean, everyone's work ethic is incredible. There's no scripts on our, not a, there's not a, law, a rule, but there's no scripts on our set. When you show up for rehearsal for the first day, you're ready to go.
Mhm.
But Harrison is so particular. His character is based on my real shrink, coincidentally, who has Parkinson's,
Mm.
who Harrison consults with. He consults with doctors, and now with Mike Foxon, they're tracking his progressions, and Harrison makes sure that it's tracked to the letter what his progression will be. It's incredible. Besides the fact that he knows, he's a super ager.
Mhm.
Even though he teases me mercilessly, he just, and it's funny because Liz is the only character, I think. All the other characters are a little bit scared of him
Oh yeah, she
and
pushes back.
respect. She has none of that with him. So I find that very fun to play with Harrison. But
I love that.
he's really specific. Working with him is a joy. I mean, I can do 100 notes all weekend and sit and grind it out, and I just need to know my lines when I show up to work with Harrison Ford.
I love that so much. My last question, Christopher, you got to ask it to Ted and Jessica earlier this year, and I'm so excited to ask it to you because it's my signature question I like to ask actors that play these deep roles. So if you, Krista, could speak to Liz after embodying her over these 3 seasons of shrinking so far, and could give her advice, a warning, or a comforting message, what do you feel she needs to hear that you would value hearing from you that knows her best from the outside in?
I would say let your kids breathe and have a little independence. I would say your best friend and sexy husband's right in front of you. Have some fun and have adventures. And I would say start learning to trust that you've got these friends now. I don't think Liz had a lot of friends before. Start trusting those relationships, and you've got a team around you. You finally have like a team that's likes you, that loves you, and you can be more yourself. Be more yourself.
I love that. I love that. If I may, I actually have one more minute. There's another question I like to ask actors that we've known for years, and we've known about your acting roles for so many years, Krista, when we've loved them on our televisions.
Thank
But
you.
who is Krista in 2026? What brings the greatest passion and purpose to your days lately?
I think it is living in the solution, um, having all different passions and being more engaged and out in the world. I felt like with my kids, I was living in a smaller world, making my world bigger and being more open to things and bringing out also the latent parts of my personality out more, and enjoying life more. I just was with my daughter. My daughter is a singer, and she was opening for
Yeah.
Somber in his European tour, and we just went. I was just a groupie, and then my friends flew in, and it's because I'm a little of a homebody, and we had the most fun ever. And I want to do
Cool.
more of that in my life.
I love that. Your daughter's also on Bad Monkey, which is also Bill's
She's
show.
one of the stars of Bad Monkey. She kills
hmm
it. I just did. She's incredible. She's a unicorn.
hmm Well, it runs in the family, Krista.
Thank Thank you. So nice of you to say.
So nice to see you. Congrats
Nice
on
to you.
everything.
Thank
Please,
you.
please tell Bill I say hi, and I'll talk
I
to you
will.
soon.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Krista.